Okay, we're on Pesachim, Perek Gimel, Mishnah Bet. We're going to talk about an areva, which is a basket, a kind of basket. And it's clear from the Mishnah that in ancient times, their baskets, if you look at wicker baskets now, they're perfect. They're made by machine. They're really wonderful. But it's clear that in ancient times, if they took a basket they wanted to use to make a bowl, they needed an adhesive. So one of the things that they would use sometimes as an adhesive is batzek, is dough. So what's the din? How do you consider, what do you do if you have dough in a basket vis-a-vis chametz on Pesach? Says the Mishnah. I'm going to move this over a little bit. There we go. Says the Mishnah. Batzek shebesidkei areva. If I have dough in the crevices of a basket, im yesh kazait b'makom echad chayav levaer. If in the area in the basket, if there's a kazait of dough in one place, then I have to do beer. Then I have to destroy that kazait. V'im lo batel b'miuto. And if there's less than a kazait, then the chametz is batel b'miuto in its small amount. Okay, and so it's interesting nowadays. If you have like Play-Doh or anything in your house, you get rid of it. Back then, everything they had, they used whatever they could in order to make adhesives, in order to make their household items. So it would be batel b'miuto if you have less than a kazayit of less than a kazayit. Now let's look at the Bartunura for a second. So the dough is made lechazek shevareh utzidakea. It's in order to strengthen its cracks and its crevices. If there's a kazayit in one place, you have to get rid of it. Less than that, batel b'miut. If the Bartunura adds, v'im eino asur lechazek, if it's not made to strengthen it, afilu pachot mi kazayit chayav lever. Then you have to get rid of less than a kazayit. Lefi she'eino mevatlo sham, because you're not mevatel. I mean, if it's there as part of the basket, then you consider it part of the basket. If you don't, if it's not there, then you have to get rid of it. Mishnah says, v'chein le'inyan tuma. The same thing is true vis-a-vis tum'ah for the basket itself. What does that mean? Let's look at the Bartunura. Im nagas sheretz b'hai batzek b'pesach. If an unclean rodent touched that dough on Pesach, she'isuro chashvos, meaning it's isur, the prohibitedness makes it important. Therefore, im yesh bo kezayit, if there's a kezayit, remember we have to get rid of it, I have to burn it. Chotzeitz mipnei hatuma. Then if I have my dough, I have my cup here, and I have dough on the cup, and the sheretz touches here. The sheretz touches the dough. Okay? Since I have to get rid of it, it's not part of the basket. So therefore, since the sheretz touches the dough, it didn't touch the basket, and the basket is therefore tahor. It's kazayit chotzeitz b'fnei hatuma. It blocks the tuma. V'lo haveker areva, and it's not the basket itself. V'lo nachta la tuma la areva, and the tuma doesn't become part of the basket. Upachod b'kazayit, but if it's less than a kazayit, im eino makpid alav, if I'm not meticulous or careful or care about it, batel legabe areva. So if it's less than a kazayit, okay, then it becomes part of the basket itself, part of the vessel, and therefore, and if it's as if the sheretz touched the basket, and then the basket is tmeya. And that's what it means. Depending on if I have gezayit, then I have to get rid of it, and then it is chotzeitz for tuma. But if it's less than a gezayit, I don't have to get rid of it. Then the dough is part of the basket, and therefore, if a sheretz touches the dough, then the basket is still tamei. Mishnah continues. Im makpid alav chotzeitz. So the Bartunura explains, and the Gemara explains, so the Mishnah is saying the following. If you are makpid on the dough, then it is chotzeitz. He says the following. This is what it means. Hachika amar. Ubeshar yemot hashana she'in isuro chashvo. That's only on Pesach, when the kazayit is important, whether it's asur or not. But during the rest of the year, it's not asur, the amount of dough I have. Therefore, ein hadavar talui b'shi'ur im yesh bo kazayit in lav. It's not dependent upon the measurement, the amount, if it has a kazayit. Ela b'kpeda tal yemot. Rather, it's dependent upon how makpid you are, how meticulous, whether you care about it or not. Im hikpid alav atid litlo misham. If it doesn't matter how much it is. If it's you don't want the dough, then you're gonna peel it off. Then chotzeitz b'fnei hatuma. Then it's a chatzitza, and then the sheretz touches it. The dough becomes tameh, and not the basket. Okay. V'im lo hikpid alav. It doesn't matter how much it is. If you don't care, if you're and you want it to leave the dough there, even if it's kamazeti, no matter how much dough it is, hareu ka'ariva. Then the dough becomes like the basket. Let's go back to the Mishnah. Totally new halacha. So that's what it says. Im makpid alav, if you're makpid, chotzeitz. In the rest of the year, if you care about the dough being there, you want to get rid of it, then it's chotzeitz if a sheretz touches it. But if you want the dough to stay, no matter how much dough you have, it's like the basket itself, and therefore if the sheretz touches the dough, he also like he touches the basket is tamei. Batzei kacheresh, this is deaf dough. What's batzei kacheresh? The Bartunira says, okay, I'm going to use the second example. Perush acher batzei kacheres. It's like batzei of cheres is pottery. Shu kasher kecheres. It's dough that's hard as clay. Ve'eno nikarim hichmis. You don't know if it's leavening. Because let's say if you ever baked and you use bad yeast, it'll just die. The dough is dead. That's batzei kacheresh. So the Mishnah says, Im yeshbo ki yotzebo sheichmitz. If there's a similar dough, you made 2 pieces of dough or 5 pieces of dough, and one of them there's not enough yeast, it just doesn't have anything going for it. So if there's similar dough that's machmitz, that starts to leaven, hareze asur. Then this dough is also considered leavened dough, and it's asur. Okay? And if you don't have another one, the Bartunira says, the Gemara says, shiur, the shiur, how much can you wait? It's not the regular 18 minutes. The amount of time it takes to walk a meal, normally, regular walking, and that's 2/5 of an hour, which is 24 minutes. All right, we're going over. We'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, email me, and we'll dedicate our learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a great day.